A new era in American foreign and military policy has begun. On November 14, 2025, the U.S. government announced Operation Southern Spear, a sweeping mission to dismantle narco-terrorist networks across Latin America. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth outlined the operation's ambitious scope. Hulstaken Urbiopfans Kestakendi, Keskafer Week Quines, Ordi Dalden, Dinga Dogerndakan, scaling it essential for American security. The mission aims to break apart powerful cartels, defend the U.S. homeland from the drug trade, and secure the nation's borders. Hegseth declared, "The Western Hemisphere is America's neighborhood, and we will protect it." This signals a more aggressive U.S. stance, linking regional stability directly to American safety. The operation consolidates recent military actions under a unified command, transforming isolated strikes into a coordinated campaign. The message: the U.S. will no longer tolerate the unchecked expansion of these networks near its shores. Operation Southern Spear marks a decisive, sustained effort to restore security to the region. Narco-terrorism is a real and growing threat for the U.S., not just a movie plot. Latin American criminal organizations use violence and terror to control territory and protect their billion-dollar drug empires. Deadly synthetic opioids like fentanyl are flooding across the border, fueling a public health crisis and causing tens of thousands of deaths annually. The profits empower these groups to buy weapons, corrupt officials, and destabilize governments, creating chaos that spills into the U.S. Instability in neighboring countries, leads to mass migration, economic collapse, and safe havens for other threats. Cartels constantly adapt, smuggling drugs, weapons, and people with sophisticated tactics that challenge U.S. sovereignty. Cartel violence has already reached American cities, making this a domestic security issue as much as a foreign one. Operation Southern Spear is a proactive step, targeting the source, not just the symptoms. The U.S. aims to disrupt these organizations, cut off their funding, and reduce the flow of drugs and violence. Allowing these networks to operate unchecked is no longer an option. The mission is about defending the U.S. and stabilizing the entire Western Hemisphere. By striking at the heart of these groups, the U.S. hopes to protect its people and its neighbors. Operation Southern Spear is led by U.S. Southern Command, or SOUTHCOM, the military's expert in Latin American operations. SOUTHCOM's experience in security and counter-narcotics makes it the natural choice for this mission. A new Joint Task Force Southern Spear brings together Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines for a unified effort. This integrated team ensures relentless focus on dismantling criminal enterprises. The U.S. Navy, especially the Fourth Fleet, plays a central role, leading maritime operations in the Caribbean and surrounding oceans. The Fourth Fleet's expertise in maritime interdiction is crucial for stopping drug smugglers at sea. SOUTHCOM sets strategy, the Joint Task Force turns it into action, and the Fourth Fleet executes on the water. This layered command structure maximizes effectiveness and coordination. The mission's seriousness is reflected in the creation of a dedicated task force and the deployment of top naval assets. The U.S. military's full power is now focused on this fight. Operation Southern Spear is a coordinated, multi-branch campaign. The goal: relentless pressure on narco-terrorist networks until they collapse. Operation Southern Spear leverages cutting-edge technology, not just traditional firepower. Robotic surface vessels, drone ships, patrol vast ocean areas for weeks, using advanced sensors to spot suspicious activity. Small, unmanned interceptor boats chase down traffickers' go-fast boats, keeping U.S. personnel out of harm's way. VTOL drones provide aerial surveillance, launching from ships or remote bases to track targets and gather real-time intelligence. These unmanned systems create a persistent, multi-layered surveillance network across sea and sky. Information from drones and robotic boats feeds back to Central Command, enabling rapid, coordinated responses. The result: round-the-clock monitoring and faster interdiction of smugglers. This tech-driven approach gives the U.S. a decisive edge over sophisticated criminal organizations. By combining sea, air, and data, Operation Southern Spear brings 21st-century tools to an age-old problem. The mission's technological advantage is a game-changer in the fight against narco-terrorism. Alongside robotics, Operation Southern Spear is backed by the formidable U.S. Navy. The deployment of warships like the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, signals American resolve. The Ford and its strike group bring overwhelming firepower, advanced sensors, and command capabilities to the region. These ships serve as floating bases, launching aircraft for surveillance and strike missions, and coordinating all assets in the operation. Helicopters and crews are trained for maritime patrol and interdiction, making the carrier group a dominant force at sea. The synergy between manned warships and unmanned systems multiplies effectiveness. Carriers act as motherships, deploying and recovering drones and robotic boats. This integrated approach ensures persistent presence and rapid response. The combination of power and precision gives U.S. forces a clear advantage. Operation Southern Spear's naval might is a warning. The U.S. is serious about dismantling these networks. Even before its official launch, Operation Southern Spear was already in action. By November 14, 2025, the U.S. had conducted 20 strikes against suspected drug trafficking boats. The most recent strike in the Caribbean resulted in the deaths of 4 suspected narco-terrorists, underscoring the operation's aggressive new posture. These actions disrupt cartel operations, inflicting losses in product, profit, and personnel. Sustained pressure forces traffickers to change tactics, increasing their risks and costs. Each interception yields valuable intelligence on smuggling routes and methods. This intelligence feeds back into planning, making future strikes more effective. The initial phase has been both a direct assault and a critical learning process. Operation Southern Spear is already reshaping the fight against narco-terrorism. Operation Southern Spear enjoys rare bipartisan support in Washington. Both parties agree. The threat from narco-terrorist networks is too serious to ignore. Senator Mark Warner, a leading Democrat, publicly backed the strikes, especially those targeting operations linked to Venezuela. This consensus gives the mission stability, funding, and political cover for tough decisions. Democrats and Republicans alike are impatient with the status quo and demand a stronger response. The unity signals to allies and adversaries that the U.S. is fully committed, regardless of who's in power. It's a rare moment of political alignment on national security. Venezuela stands at the center of Operation Southern Spear's strategy. U.S. officials accuse the Maduro regime of enabling, even participating in, the drug trade. Venezuela is a major transit hub for cocaine, with high-ranking officials sanctioned for alleged narco ties. Many recent U.S. strikes have targeted traffickers near Venezuelan waters, a direct challenge to the regime's permissive environment. Bipartisan support specifically calls for tougher action against Maduro. President Trump has been briefed on options, including possible land strikes, though no decisions have been made. The goal: maximum pressure to cripple the narco-terrorist infrastructure intertwined with the Venezuelan state. For now, the focus remains on maritime interdiction, but escalation is possible. The deployment of assets like the USS Gerald R. Ford gives the U.S. flexibility to act quickly. How the U.S. handles Venezuela will shape the operation's success and the region's future. Operation Southern Spear marks a shift from containment to active dismantlement of narco-terrorist networks. The goal: a safer Western Hemisphere for the U.S. and its neighbors. Success means fewer drugs crossing U.S. borders, saving lives and weakening criminal organizations. For Latin America, U.S. support could help governments reclaim territory and break cycles of violence and corruption. But risks remain: civilian casualties, political sensitivities, and the challenge of operating near sovereign nations. Diplomacy and regional cooperation will be as vital as military might. The world is watching to see if the mission expands, especially in places like Venezuela. Decisions in the coming months will define the operation's legacy. For now, the U.S. has made its intentions clear. It will not stand by as narco-terrorist networks threaten its people and its neighborhood. Operation Southern Spear is underway, and its impact will be felt across the hemisphere. The spear has been thrown. Now the world waits to see where it lands.